everyone, and welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 9 down to 4, and here on my channel we talk all about homeschooling, homesteading, and homemaking. So if that is something that you are interested in, I would love for you guys to stick around and subscribe. Just hit that red subscribe button down in the description bar. I would love to get to know you more in our comments as well. Today's video, I am just going to talk with you about our December plans for like morning basket and kind of what our December school is going to look like once we finish up our individual subjects for the semester. So that's what I'm doing today in today's video. Okay, so usually I put out once a month a video that talks about like what our morning basket looks like and what our morning menus looks like. Hold on a second. I didn't mean to grab them. I forgot to grab them. But anyway, we use morning menus very frequently in our homeschool. We love this. It's an anchor for our morning and it keeps us going in our morning. Since December is going to be a little more relaxed than our regular school is, I have decided not to use morning menus for our morning basket time. So what I'm going to do is just kind of push those by the wayside because this has things like the Lord's Prayer, our Pledge of Allegiance, our calendar time, and all that stuff in it. Not that none of that is important, but we're just going to take a slower pace for the month of December. So I thought we would kind of lay those aside for a little bit and do something a little more casual, a little less formal, and just kind of work through some things that we have in our morning basket and then add some new stuff in. So the one thing that or a couple of things that we will be continuing throughout the month of December is our morning exercises for all the year, a day book for teachers. This just has something for every day, whether it's a piece of poetry or facts about a famous person. I'm trying to find December stuff. So like every day it'll have something to read and facts about that date, famous people that were born on that date, or people that have died on that date. So we will continue with this through the month of December. And then we will also continue with Sing a Song of Seasons, a nature poem for each day of the year. These poems have been really good for our family, and this book, if you are not aware of this book, but this book is really beautiful. So we are continuing with this book. There's a poem, a nature poem for each day of the year, to go along with every day. So we will just read through this each day that we do our morning basket. We are finishing, I'm filming this, I think it's December 6th today. So I'm filming this on a Monday. I'm going to put this out later this week. But this week we are finishing up our individual subjects. And so we will officially be done with school on Friday, the 10th. But I still want to do a few things throughout the month just to kind of keep a little bit of structure to our day, because whenever we take long breaks, our kids have a hard time coming back into January, or like when we start back up for after summer, they have a hard time getting back into the routine. We have a lot more struggles. So I just wanted to kind of keep up our morning time loosely through the rest of December. So that's why we're not doing everything that is in our morning basket. The next thing that we're going to continue to do is our hymn study. Now, I'm not using our morning menu, so we won't have to print out this sheet music or anything like that. But we are going to follow Happy Hymnody's hymn of the month, and they are doing a Little Town of Bethlehem. So in this book, Then Sings My Soul, which is a really great book. If you do not have it, I highly, highly recommend this book. But it has a little blurb, tells the history behind the song or the hymn, and then it has the music with the sheet music with the words. We will just find Happy Hymnody's YouTube channel, and then they have like each of their hymns, a different family has played that song, and so we will play that on YouTube whenever we are doing this each morning, and so they will learn a little town of Bethlehem each morning. So the meat of our morning time read aloud study is going to be on St. Nicholas. So if you're watching this with your kids, you may want to pop your earbuds in. If you don't, if you're still doing Santa in your house. If not, then continue. But this year our kids have discovered who Santa Claus is. We are still kind of talk about Santa. I really wanted to do a video this year with my stepdad because he plays Santa throughout the Christmas season, and our schedules have not aligned to where we could do that. So he might pop on here later at some point. You never know, later in the month. But anyway, so we still do Santa. We talk about Santa and all that, but we have told our kids that we are the ones that supply the gifts. Santa does not. But that the reason why Santa Claus is talked about so much is because of St. Nicholas. So I want to do during our morning time is to read different books on the legend of St. Nicholas and kind of tell the kids and talk to the kids about why we celebrate, or why we I guess celebrate some of the traditions that we do, or why that some of the things that we see at Christmas time are there. I'm trying to come up with the words to say, but anyway, like the Christmas tree. Why is the Christmas tree a symbol at Christmas time? Why is a candy cane? Why St. Nicholas? Why are all these different traditions a part of Christmas? And so we're going to talk about that. And a few resources that I picked up is The Legend of St. Nicholas, A Story of Christmas Giving. It's just a really sweet book that tells the story of St. Nicholas and why he is related to the modern day Santa Claus. So another book that we're going to read through is Christmas Legends to Remember. Actually, we've kind of already read through this because we did a road trip this past weekend, and I read this while we were on the road. It has the legend of the candy cane, the legend of the Christmas tree, and the legend of St. Nicholas. And this book ties everything back to Christ. It's a really neat read. I've had this book for years. A coworker of mine gave this to me when, oh goodness, I was working at the Department of Education a number of years ago before we had children. And I have never read this book. I feel really bad, but I've never read this book till now, but it was a really good book. And so I will see if I can link it below. Like I said, I was given this book years ago. Another book that we picked up on Amazon that was new to us, I have not read it, but I know the author, and so I have a feeling this is going to be a good book, is The True St. Nicholas, Why He Matters to Christmas, by William J. Bennett. So he wrote the Book of Virtues for for children. So I have a feeling this book is going to be really good. Like I said, we have not read it yet. The reviews on it were good. It goes into depth upon St. Nicholas's life, and it did say that if your children are, this is not recommended for children that believe in Santa Claus. Not that our kids don't believe in Santa Claus, we just are choosing not to, I guess, lie to them and tell them. I felt really convicted the past couple of years about Santa Claus because our kids were just asking for gifts, and they would just say like, oh well, Santa's can just bring it to us because we want it. And I was like, well, that's kind of outside the budget. And so I kept having to come up with reasons of why they couldn't get the things that they were asking for, but they kept telling me that Santa's magic and he can bring them whatever they want. So I was having to explain all this stuff, and it just felt like I was carrying on a lie that I didn't want to live up to. Now, I love the whole tradition of why Santa Claus is celebrated, and the fact that he stemmed from St. Nicholas, who was all about giving and helping other people. But I didn't like the reasons why we were having to keep up this quote unquote lie to our kids. And so this year, even though, I mean, they know that Santa is not real, like he was a real person, but he's not real right now. But it's still fun. So we just told him it's still fun to pretend and to talk about, and it's fine. We don't have to completely forget about Santa Claus, but it's still fun because he represents giving and all of that stuff. So anyway, long-winded answer to, we're going to be reading through this book, and it's a chapter book. It's not a picture book, so it's broken into different chapters. I was trying to hold please. So it's part 1, the life of Nicholas, part 2, the legend of Nicholas, and part 3, the legacy of Nicholas. So we're gonna read through that, and hopefully it will give the kids a little better understanding of Saint Nicholas and what all his life was about, and why we have made up this whole person of Santa Claus. What we are doing as far as our Advent study is from the Daily Grace Code. I've talked about this before. It's Waiting for Jesus. I think I talked about this in my plans for December school, what our homeschool plans were for the holidays. I'll link that up here in the iCards. It's the Studying the Family Tree of Jesus and the Hope of Christmas. We've been going through this since Advent started, and I've even made our own Advent candle wreath. I will pop a picture in so that you guys can see that, or a reel or something. But this is the first time that our family has personally done Advent. We've done it with our church several years ago at an older church, at a church that we were at several years ago. And we participated in it then, and even led one of the weeks of reading and all. And so I thought it would be something fun for us to go through as a family on our own. So I've made our own Advent wreath. We have these Advent cards from the Daily Grace Co. that just walks you through like what each one. We just did the peace candle this week, and it has the memory verse for the week and a little blurb about what that candle represents. So you have one card for each week, and I think you even have the Christ card. Yep, the Christ card. So, and to go along with this is ornaments. So each day you have these little ornaments, and so we have a little tree. Our Christmas tree looks a lot different this year, but we actually have 3 trees, and they were sort of trees that were in like a little alcove that we had in our old house. And so these 3 trees are sitting on our side table, and they're decorated as our Christmas tree. Well, the smallest one we're using for our Advent ornaments. And so each night when we talk about the study in here, it correlates to an ornament. So we hang that ornament on the tree. So tonight we were studying about Tamar. Tomorrow is Rahab. So it'll have like a little blurb on there to help us remember about Rahab, and then a picture as well. So it's been neat to kind of go through the family line and genealogy of Jesus with our kids. Some of it's been a little deep, and so it's kind of flown over their heads, but it has all circled back to Christ and why Christ came is to save us from our sins. So so far we are liking this a lot. We're actually doing this at night so that Daniel can be present with us. So we're not really doing this in the morning, but it's part of our Christmas unit study, I guess, per se. And then a few Christmas books that I have on hand, because some crazy lady decided to pack up all of our Christmas books, thinking, I guess, that we would be out of this house before Christmas came, which obviously did not happen. So I have a few Christmas books, but not a lot. And I really didn't feel like going to the storage unit and digging them out, because I honestly can't remember what box I packed them in. But I have a few Usborne books, so these are in our basket for the kids to kind of go to and read. A nativity Lift the Flap book from Usborne. So it's very simple. This is more on Ben's level, and it's got flaps throughout the book. It tells the Christmas story. So just really fun. It has cutouts through the pages as well. So this is a fun one for Benjamin. And then we have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's a pop-up book, so it can pop up and kind of come to life. It tells the full unabridged 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So the kids really like looking at this. And then we have the Nutcracker book as well. Is this one on? Yes. So it plays music as you turn the pages and press the little thing. It's kind of the convinced version of the Nutcracker. I want to at some point take our girls to go see the Nutcracker Ballet. I've never actually seen it. I was trying to see. No, it's not. I think it is. So you just go through the book and hear the sounds with it. Really neat book. I think they still have this one for sale on Usborne. I'll link to my Usborne book page below if you're interested. And then the last Christmas book that I have for us to kind of go through this year is from the Daily Grace Code. It's called The Promise of Christmas. So it just walks you through the Christmas story in a very basic kind of colorful way. So those are a few of the books that we have on hand and kind of what we're doing for our morning basket time. Not a lot of fancy things. I don't have any printables or anything like that to show you guys. We're just kind of just slowly reading through. The kids will play games and do some coloring on their own as I read through these books and kind of do our morning baskets together. But mainly for the month of December, or for the rest of December after this week, we're just going to take time to rest and regroup and then do another hard start back in January. So I hope you like this video. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe, and I would love for you to stick around. And let me know what you and your family are doing for kind of a unit study of Christmas this year. I would love to know that as for getting ideas for next year. And I hope to see you in a new video very soon. Bye guys.